How does a Weaver die to an Undying ever? Also, sick Doom on the Weaver there. Holy shit. You guys are making lemonade out of this lane. This is ridiculous. Alright guys, welcome back. This is week 15 of weekly coaching, and we're still working on Doom, and it looks like students making some progress this time. So, what is the MMR now?
We're at 2660.
2660. Okay, so bump over last week. Nice. So I see you only got to do 3 games, right? But how did those games feel?
The last 2 games, I can't really remember the first game, but the last 2 games I really put into practice since I knew I didn't get that many games, and I was like, okay, I really gotta hone in on what we talked about.
Yeah.
So I did that, and those games felt a lot better. Even in the times that it was hard, it felt like I was more in control.
Yeah, I'm noticing your net worth is generally higher, your last hits are higher, and your score is better than it was before. Like in all 3 of these last games you played, you actually have a positive KDA. Yeah. So that's a pretty good sign that whatever you're doing is actually working, right?
Yeah.
So that's very cool. All right, cool. Which game do you want to look at then?
We can. Let's look at the first or the last game that I played.
Okay.
Because I kind of had an awkward laning stage.
Okay. So awkward laning stage on this, what are you thinking? What would be question for that then?
Basically, Dazzle was keeping me off of the creep waves really effectively because of I just Doom is slow, I can't get up to him. And Spear Breaker was not really syncing up with me to try and charge and then Scorch Earth him. So I was I kind of had an idea of what I had to do, and I kind of recovered. Well, I mean, I definitely recovered from it, but I wondered if there was a way I should have handled the initial pressure better.
Okay. You handle lane pressure. Okay. And then any other questions for this game?
Not off the top of my head. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, let's have a look at it then.
Yeah, honestly, this was kind of these last 2 games were just kind of good games of 30 seconds doing the things that we talked about. And I saw kind of immediate improvement.
That's good. That's really good.
Maybe we could talk about where my farming pattern's good.
Sure. Okay. We'll add that in then. Farming patterns. Okay. I was thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure. But I feel maybe actually starting with Infernal Blade or Devour first might be better, because Scorched Earth is, I guess, nice against melee heroes, right? But other than that, it's just super long cooldown. Because Infernal Blade's only 16 seconds and actually does a ton of damage. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think you can make an argument for starting with all 3 spells here, but I'm kind of just theory crafting it on Doom right now because it's so. It's kind of so awkward the first few levels.
Yeah.
And as far as how this lane pressure goes, it's double melee versus double ranged. So there isn't anything in particular you can do besides just dragon creeps as much as possible, trying to use trees to abuse it. And then also it's just kind of just being okay with not getting as much farm as you normally would.
Yeah.
You don't go into this expecting to stop it, right? You guys could. You can definitely kill this Dazzle if you combo everything, but it's not like a given.
Oh, I also had this is kind of like a question about one of the things we went over that I didn't end up doing in the last 2 games.
Okay.
Disassembling for the Octarine.
Yeah, I noticed that. You ended up buying the Octarine and having the original items anyway. Yeah. So what was the question there?
My thing is like, don't I still want those items? Like, don't I? I mean, I obviously like mana boots is a little bit different, but like, don't I still kind of want that Vanguard?
Like, yeah, you are losing the value of both of those items when you turn it into Octarine. But I think if you look at the upsides that you're gaining off of it, it outweighs it.
Yeah.
So you're getting like, you still have like a bunch of health and mana. You have a lot of like passive health and mana regen, but just the cooldown reduction just really ramps your power up. So you effectively what you're doing when you trade in for the Octarine core is you're trading like defense on the Vanguard for offense and utility, because it means like you get 25% more. Like actually don't even think of it as like cooldown reduction. Like think about what that actually means. Like if you use all the spells off cooldown, you get 25% more Devours, Scorched Earths, Infernal Blades, Dooms. So if you're actively using all your spells all the time, it's super duper value, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why everyone's doing it, especially because like basically all of Doom's cooldowns are really high. Even Infernal Blade, right? Like it's really high until later. And this is like an auto cast ability, and it's still a 4-second cooldown. So just his number one like limiting factor is just like his general melee range and long cooldowns.
Yeah.
And also there on that TP out, you got to be really careful with that one.
Yeah,
that was
a
sometimes it's worth a try, but yeah, might be better just to let him kill you and then come back in.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like my thing is like do you think like at that point in the game where you would be buying Octarine, it's like the block that you're getting from Vanguard isn't as valuable?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Because I don't know the exact timing on when you should be getting an Octarine core, but at that stage, damage block is not like super important. Like mainly you're going to be dying at that phase of the game to spells and like multiple heroes smashing you, right? So just having like the extra spells is going to be more helpful in the long run. Like it does make you a little bit weaker, yes, but it's not like I think the cooldown reduction is just more valuable than block.
I guess what I really needed to be thinking about was like what to build the Ring of Health into that would make up for that, which probably honestly thinking about it would be like a Lotus.
Oh well, you don't need to. That's why this is broken, because all of the items go into the Octarine core.
Oh, into the Octarine. Okay, yeah.
So
right. The Ring of Health goes in too.
Yeah, the Ring of Health goes into the Perseverance, which just goes into Octarine, and the Vitality booster goes into Soul Booster, which goes into Octarine. So it's just like 100% efficient to just do this build right here, just Vanguard, Arcane, and then I guess you're supposed to go Midas first. And then you just turn it into an Octarine core after that, and then go Blink.
Yeah.
Because like, where do you fit in a Midas here? Should it be first item? Should it be third item? I don't know. But according to this guide right here, this like what is this GG bet? This Tortellini build, it's like third item.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing where you would just figure that out by playing it a lot. Like you would know, like, oh, in this lane I can actually go Midas first, then go Vanguard and whatever. Or this one I have to go Vanguard, then I go Midas. Like, or I really, really need the Octarine core now, so I'll just go straight to that and skip the Midas, right? Like, whatever. That's where it gets modular, like, once you start, like, learning the hero a lot. Because there, you will have lanes where it's like, I can afford to max Devour and just go Midas, because they apply no pressure to me, and my team's not going to be making plays anyway. Just super greedy games. So, be willing to do that, too. Because, I mean, like, we're talking about, like, Scorched Earth and Infernal Blade are the only thing that give you any lane pressure. But actually, so this is the exact type of lane where that's what I would be doing. Like,
Yeah.
I'd think about it like, okay, are my spells good against Medusa and Dazzle? You know, pure ranged. Like, I can't get on top of them anyway. So Scorched Earth, like, helps me get on top of them a little bit, but it's not even that good.
Yeah.
Infernal Blade, well, it's strictly just bad against Medusa because she has, like, no max HP. So
Yeah.
it just does 80 damage, right? Level
Yeah.
1. And it's kind of the same thing with Dazzle, too. Like, this, so Infernal Blade is, like, anti-strength hero, anti-tanky guy, and Scorched Earth is, like, AoE counter / like melee counter because they can't get out of it, right? So this lane, I would be getting like maybe a couple points in these, just depending on like what I need. But I'd be maxing Devour in this lane.
Yeah, and getting the bonus gold.
Yeah, just get the bonus gold because it's like 195 gold. Like it's basically like a hero kill almost every time you use it. It's nuts, right? So, but that's only because like there's not really any plays to be made here anyway.
Right.
So
it would be different if there were, but
yeah,
there's
if this were say you were against like the best example I can think of like a good lane matchup versus Doom for the Doom would be Sven, right? Like no magic immunity, almost purely melee. Like yeah, maybe you can max Infernal Blade and Scorched Earth in that lane and just kill him, right?
Yeah.
Or just pressure him out of the lane and win that way. But this one, you're not going to make any plays, so just go Devour and make plays later. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But in any build you do, I need to turn this down. In any build you do or whatever, you're always making a sacrifice for one phase or aspect of your play over another. So that's your team comp, your itemization, your spell, the order you level your spells. Like every single one is a choice of one thing over something else.
Right.
Because, you know, you go the whole game, all your spells get leveled up, you get to buy all the items you want to, right?
Yeah.
Eventually you get to the same endpoint. It's just, if we go Devour first, does that accelerate whatever was going to happen on the next thing instead, right?
Right.
So, like, in a really passive game like this, like, going Devour first is going to get you your Octarine core faster, but in other games, you know, maxing Scorched Earth and Infernal Blade are going to actually, like, get you kills so that you either get the Octarine core faster or don't need it as quickly. That, you get what I'm saying here? Like, it's just it's always a trade-off. And there probably isn't a right answer. Like, I think you can only say it's like, no, this is 100% correct, like, once you've played, like, 200 Doom games. You can be like, no, I only need Devour level 2, and then that's it, I'm done. Like, whatever the hell, right?
Yeah.
Big thing I was noticing, though, throughout your... Because I was watching a little bit of this game live, and late game you were just kind of forgetting to use Devour and forgetting to use Midas.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the type of thing. Like, what the number one thing with those items is the efficiency of just using it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a minor thing. You're already winning the game, but it does help. This is all good, right? Good. And I would be thinking here, like, yeah, you're farming, but you have Doom, so like look for an opportunity to use it. Like this axe down here, like I don't know if you want a 4-man rotate, but like you do have the TP gates. Hey, what's up, sweet? So like this would be an opportunity, like just come down here and Doom this guy, kill him, and then come right back to what you're doing or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes holding a spell because of the threat of the spell is totally relevant.
Yeah.
But I would say in this game, like, Doom's not even, like, that great. Like, it's good against Mirana, it's good against Dazzle in fights, it's good against Axe, kind of. Not even that much. So it's not even like this is, like, a hyper value, like, oh, we need Black Hole to make plays. It's just kind of like another spell here.
Right.
So, you know, just look for an opportunity.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. I think it was kind of like a thing of like I was so separated from them, and the axe thing, I was like I didn't want to do that thing where I was like rotating. It's like, okay, well, I didn't need to rotate and I missed out on a bunch of farm.
Yeah, but this is totally fair. Like that's a totally fair thing to say, and I totally get that, especially because you're specifically looking to like be more efficient with farm. Totally makes sense. Do you need to Doom the axe? No. but it's the type of thing where it's like, if you can slot it into your gameplay on top of farming a bunch of stuff like that,
Right.
then you're just like, everything is better, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's like a thing. That's a challenge when you're playing Earthshaker.
Would you like that?
Yeah, that was good there. That was really good. That was sick. That's like a challenge with Earthshaker in specific, because before he gets Blink Dagger or whatever, it's kind of hard to use Echo. So the challenge is like, okay, can I even get an Echo off? And then as soon as I do that, I just go leave and farm Blink Dagger or whatever item, you know. But you don't want the spell to be going unused. So like a lot of like higher MMR players will talk about the efficiency of like, oh, you haven't used any mana, you haven't used any health, you haven't used the spell yet, which is totally practical. But you also don't want to waste things just for the sake of it. It's a balancing act like everything else.
Yeah,
I'd say so far it's fine.
That's kind of like we talked about that a little bit about how higher MMR players kind of view certain things more as like resources.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of the mindset, and I think that's like honestly sometimes when I smoke, I like kind of naturally like pick up that attitude. So that's like something I've been doing in lane, where I'm like, I don't know. I think sometimes I would be like, oh, I'm getting hit, I'm dying, like I need to get away, but it's like realistically, I'm Doom, like. You know, I can afford to lose some health if it's getting me the farm that I need.
Right. Totally.
You know.
Totally. Yeah, that's good. So this is where we'd be just looking to finish Octarine Core. And actually, in this case, because you're getting kind of close to finishing Octarine Core, like don't go BKB here. Like Octarine Core is the next thing, right? So, especially because you don't even need BKB in this game. But this would be like here, I'm like, what I would be doing is I'd be like, okay, am I close to finishing Octarine Core? If yes, then I'm holding Doom until I get it.
Yeah.
From there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought about that, if how valuable BKB was in this game.
It's, it's always a little bit helpful, but it's really not a great BKB game. I mean, it doesn't help you against Axe Call. Medusa's pretty much all physical damage. Like, it helps you against her stone thing, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that goes through BKB anyway, right? Yeah, that goes through anyway. So it would only help you against her, like, Ags Mystic Snake, which she doesn't have. A Piranha Arrow, a Starstorm. Yeah, I'm not BKBing for a Starstorm. It's like Poison Touch. Like, it helps you mainly against Dazzle's Poison Touch. That's kind of it. And obviously Zeus damage. Like, Zeus does a lot of damage. It's not the worst item ever, but it's definitely like not
as efficient as like
you could play this whole game without a BKB and it would be fine.
Yeah,
totally fine. All right, so that's a big thing first. No BKB. We got that, but we got it now. So all right. In terms of your farming, you've just been occupying this area and farming, and your team is showing up to you. So this like all looks good. And it is actually worth duping the Medusa if she has her ult available, because her ult prevents you from you guys from killing her.
Yeah, no, I thought about, and I actually, that was a big part of things I was thinking about, like there was a game in the game before where they had an Omni Knight, and I was very mindful of like, okay, if he hasn't like ulted, doom him. If he's ulted and he's thrown down all his shit, it's probably not worth it to doom him anymore.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. Yeah, very late BKB there, but alright. Yeah, at this point it's just going to be like the minor efficiency adjustments and like actually like how good your timings are on these items, you know? Because that lane, there really isn't anything you can do differently in that lane.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm seeing any like terrible screw-ups. Like, you're focusing a lot more on farming, like way more on farming than you were before, which is really, really important.
Yeah, I definitely like, realize that, like, I don't know, a core role, like, you're in fucking capitalist mode.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you're the offlaner and you need to initiate. Like, sure, you do things with less farm, but if you're a core, it doesn't really matter. Like, you're going to need farm.
Yeah. Still got to farm.
That made me realize, like, you know, even in the times where, and it was especially more the game before this, where my team would like take really like bad fights.
Yeah.
And I made sure obviously not to show up whenever Doom was off, but then they would just take those fights. I was like, I'm still strong because I've been farming. Like, it's not like I've been trying to set up something with them and they do something stupid and I haven't been farming, and it's now like, it's like I'm so worthless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the benefit of it. The disassembly on Vanguard and Arcane Boots can be a little tricky, just because there's a lot of items to be shuffling.
Yeah.
So,
No, sure.
but that would have been a case where you could have gotten it.
Yeah.
Alright, here. I'm trying to watch it from your camera as well to see like how that's looking. Just trying to see like how much you're looking around and all that stuff. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So the only other thing about that, like disassembling, like losing the value on Vanguard, and maybe if it's a game where like Crimson Guard is just super, super good, then you'd want to keep the Vanguard and like purchase another copy of Vanguard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here it has, you don't really need it. Their damage is actually a mix, because it's like pure damage, magic, and physical. It's not like they have just one type.
Yeah, the most efficient thing is probably just health.
Mm-hmm. But also using Devour every time it's off cooldown.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, I think that's like... I think that actually kind of covers it for this one.
Yeah.
Do you want to look at the other game?
Like, we can look at the other game too.
Alright, let's do that. Let's jump over to the other one, because I think that's like... not really much more to get from that. Unless you think there's like another important instance there. So that was that one. Let's have a look at this one real quick. Because I know like each game can be different, right? There's going to be different patterns.
Yeah, this one was definitely a lot more back and forth. And in fact, obviously, like, you can see they killed us and we killed them.
What is going on with this?
Oh, they're like the ultimate being.
What the fuck?
Jesus, dude, could you imagine? It's horrifying.
The fastest Omni Knight ever. What the fuck? This thing bugged out. Okay, skip. It's gonna give you your player view. Okay, cool. And you're doing this build consistently, just
30 seconds.
items. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I did the same thing when I was playing Doom too. Just gotta get that Vanguard. It's all about the Vanguard.
Yeah.
So
I figure
boring.
sometimes, honestly, I've just been kind of like going with this sort of like opening item build.
Yeah.
Just when I'm not completely sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
What's the best?
It's balanced. It's a lot of it's effectively 6 tangos, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever eat your branches?
Yes. Not as much as I should, but I do sometimes. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, a lot of these games are also going to be... Your lane is going to be really dictated by like how good this guy is at playing 4.
Yeah.
How good the matchup just happens to be, right?
Yeah.
Like here, again, it's the same thing. It's 2 range versus 2 melee. It's just not great.
I could have done that thing better and lost less health.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's whatever. I was thinking about if you needed to connect the creeps there, but you're able to static it. And that's good enough. So yeah, this would be another lane where we're kind of skip these other two spells and prioritize, or not skip, but prioritize Devour in this lane.
Yeah.
'Cause again, it's like, yeah, you can get kills, but they really need to screw up to give you guys kills in this lane. You guys have no way of forcing it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Smart money.
Ooh, close. They traded. That's fine. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Anytime you can get kills in a lane where you're kind of not supposed to win it, it's really, really good for you.
Yeah.
They should never be dying to you. That's very silly. Might sound like extreme to say that, but there's just really no reason for them to ever die to you.
No, I agree. I felt like this, like, it was definitely like a lane that we got away with kind of murder.
Yeah. They're not playing this right.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under
Okay, I like that you didn't chase that far. You're about to, and you're like, wait, no. Get the creeps, get the creeps.
Yeah.
That's really good. Oh, wow. Okay, run them down. Fuck it.
Radiant's middle tower.
You got a freebie here, I guess. How does a Weaver die to an Undying, ever? Also, sick Doom on the Weaver there. Holy shit. You guys are making lemonade out of this lane. This is ridiculous. Okay, so Weaver is objectively the better target to Doom here over a Troll. But it's a Troll carry, and I would always take killing the Troll over the Weaver here.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and it might mean that if you doom the Troll and focus on killing him, that you die to the Weaver. That's still probably better than just killing Weaver,
Gotcha.
because it's like this is the core, right? Like this is it's
Yeah.
gonna make the problem. Like as much as we can make him dead, the better. I don't really care
Yeah.
about a Weaver, but Weaver is a better like on paper target for Doom.
Right.
You know, kill's a kill, whatever. But if you have the choice there, like you do, probably just kill Troll. That's like the kind of shit I would get flamed for in my games. Like not focusing the core in that situation. Like, what are you doing? Just kill Troll, you know? People get real mad at me for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, you tried to backpack it. Yeah, good.
Tried to.
Tried. That's good. You're thinking about it. That's good.
Yeah.
Some of these things, if as long as you're thinking about it, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. What is going on in this lane? What is this? You can see how strong you get with the Vanguard. Like, they just can't do anything to you now. It's nuts.
That's what I figured with
Dire's
double
top tower
physical.
is under
Yeah.
attack.
Definitely a great Vanguard lane. I mean, it almost never isn't a good Vanguard lane,
Yeah.
but it's especially good here.
Dire's top tower, Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Were there any points in this game that you can remember that you had questions on?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's
Not specific questions, I guess, but there are things that start to happen where,
has fallen.
like,
Nice stack farm there, by the way. Good shit.
thank you.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I guess like just where we start to kind of like they start to come back, and I'm not. I think at certain points I'm not completely sure like
Is under attack, is under
how I play this game. Besides, like I'm like, all right, well I gotta farm, keep myself healthy, so when the opportunity does arrive, we can come back. But I'm not sure if there are things I could have done better.
Okay. Well, I think it just in general, like it's a massive improvement over what it was before.
Yeah,
Not farming enough and stuff like that. It's way better.
yeah.
So that's good to see.
Thank you.
blink. Here, so like once you've got the blink here, I would skip the Midas at this point now that you don't already have it, and I'd go for Octarine.
Yeah.
Because your Doom is sick as hell this game. Like, Doom is an awesome spell this game. Shits on Weaver, shits on Troll, shits on Omni. It's just good. Like, it's like everybody except for Viper, really. It's even good against Viper, but it's not the best. Like that we're farming stacks. That's sick as well. It's like I noticed you're not just randomly using Scorched Earth.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I think I don't know what your options were on the tier 1 control, but you don't need the arcane ring if you have arcane boots, unless you're grabbing it specifically for the armor. Then it's nice. Other than that, I would have picked a different neutral here.
Gotcha.
Because you can't spend your mana fast enough with arcane boots
Yeah.
and that. Really worth it. That is a sick Doom. Yeah, this is good. This is fine. We're just farming, and then when we get a chance, we go Doom someone. Let's go. Alright, we can call it there. So the main thing then is just, yeah, don't worry about, like, the disassembly, like, losing out on damage block. Like, just go for the Octarine core as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So how do we handle lane pressure in game 1? So there's really not much you can do there differently. It's just like defensive aggro. You have to be okay with getting last hits. So settle for less defensive aggro, and also probably you have to buy a little bit more regen than you normally would. Maybe send yourself an extra tango or something.
Right.
Also, I mean, you really do want to get your Vanguard as fast as possible, but then getting boots, like, after that is going to be really helpful against those two. But it's just, I think that's what you did anyway. So yeah, that's the main thing. There's not much you can do there. That's that type of lane. It's just up to the matchup and, like, how your 4 handles it. That's it. Farming patterns, so, like, massively improved. So, like, it was good. Like great farming, mostly pretty good efficiency with spells, except for sometimes forgetting about Devour and Midas. So need to Devour Midas more often. And then the only other thing there, try to squeeze in Doom usage in between farming. Like, you know Doom's coming up, so you, like, go do a bunch of farming, and then you're in position to, like, ready to go Doom somebody, and then you're just gonna go right back to farming. Like, it's kind of like planning around that. Right? It's a lot like I think we were talking about that same thing with Sand King a while ago. It's kind of like, okay, you got your spells, like, go, like, you got blink, you got your ult, like, go use it, and then you can go back to, like, pressuring this lane. Same type of thing. So, like, find, create opportunities to use big spell, then go back. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've done that before, where it's like, I'm like, I'm not using, like, the best usage of my time right now is to get a Doom on somebody. Yeah, trying to pay attention to, like, the power spike. Like, I just got 6. There, you know, the best time to use it is, like, as soon as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even if it doesn't result in anything, like, it's kind of, like, irrelevant. It's just kind of like, well, we used it. That's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then, so, okay, so I guess your other question was, like, is it worth losing damage block to disassemble into Octarine? And that would be yes. Yes, like, if damage block is still needed, you would just buy it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it, man. It's like a really big improvement.
Yeah, I
Good
figured
job
that
there.
was gonna be like mostly, because I felt really good about these games.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so I definitely want to keep on this, and I think that sticking to Doom has like kind of distilled like the improvements being on the you know uh like doing the fundamentals versus like learning a character.
Yeah, yeah. You can stop worrying about that stuff and start focusing more on like this game specific, like the in the moment thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So for homework, I would say like just keep playing Doom. So keep playing Doom and practice that like Octarine thing, and then like I guess let's go back to what we did before while you're spamming Doom, where you're like
Yeah.
try and find an example where like doing things out of order made more sense to you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like let's say you had a lane where it's like, oh, I can just max devour here. Or, oh, I can rush Midas, or I go Midas
Yeah.
after Vanguard, or whatever the hell it is. Like just look for an example where you got to like play with things like that.
Sure, cool.
Experiment with item spell or how do I want to say this? Item skill point. We'll say skill point.
Yeah.
Or timings. Timings? Order. Yeah, that's fine. That makes sense? You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
God, that was harder to write out than it was to say for some reason.
Yeah,
For
no
sure.
worries.
All right. Well, yeah, that's good. I think keeping them shorter like this is going to be more helpful. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think we could like, it was super efficient, and I think like changing my attitude of like I need to play a bunch of games and just really like playing games and really fucking focusing on the homework
Mhm.
is the biggest thing.
Good. Okay. I'm glad to see that's working
Especially
out.
just because how my schedule is right now. Like I don't get too much time, so
So you say like hard focus
Yeah.
practice is like paying off.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, I'm really glad to see it, dude. Keep it up.
I appreciate it.
Good stuff. All right, we'll call it there.
Cool.
I will check you next week. So we're gonna do 2:00 next week.
Yes, sir.
If I can remember the goddamn time, I'll do it. Oh,
Yeah, no
sorry.
worries.
All right, dude. Well, good
All
job.
right, cool.
I'll check you later.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Catch you around.
See you, dude.
See ya.
All right. Thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to check out the Dota coaching playlist at the end of the video. And I stream on Twitch every weekday at Mr. Ib TV. See you there. Bye.